shi ye so ha. O namo manjo shi ye. Nama so shi ye. Nama o dama shi ye so ha. O namo manjo shi ye. Nama so shi ye. Nama o dama shi ye so ha. Chedang zogi chuna la jang chu padu dang di kap su che dagi chunye gibe sonang gi jola penche sangi choba shu. Chedang zogi chuna la jang chu padu dang di kap su che dagi chunye gibe sonang gi jola penche sangi choba shu. Chedang zogi chuna la jang chu padu dang di kap su che dagi chunye gibe sonang gi jola penche sangi choba shu. Yuki Juche Mejo Zhang, Rira Lin Shi Ni De Gen Ba Di, Sangye Shin Do Mi De Wu Wa Ye, Zhu Nan Da Xin La Jue Ba Shu, Yi Dang Ku Ru Ren Na Men Da La Kang, Li Ya Da Ya Mi.
Atumwadina isili dera tu tabu tsendi mani chikadin chini chada mama jiba chida masheba tundi mchana Beijing mandina dewan deja lando prochi tuwe bashi mo biga kujija Beijing mandina bechi kusun for the chum chum tabu chum kita chini kama chini
All suffering sentient beings have been our mothers, and all suffering mother sentient beings have been our mothers for numberless times. They are as kind as our mothers of this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings, they want happiness and do not want suffering at all. However, due to not knowing the object of abandonment and adoptions properly, they create a karma that bring forth the result of suffering. In our minds, sincerely cultivate loving kindness towards all kind mothers sentient beings. That how nice if all kind mothers sentient beings had happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to have happiness. Lama. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
어디 이제 등어지나 신제 대다 통 이제 무엇은 좀 우리 초 타다가 잘 좀 저와 취지 저와 받고 좀 기다시는 하는 것이
Next, we cultivate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings. That how nice if 3 doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free of all adversities. May 3 doors of all suffering mother sentient beings to be free of all adversities. I will cause 3 doors of all suffering mother sentient beings to be free of all adversities. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
어디 이제 등어지나 신제 대다 통 이제 코어다는 속을 등어는 게 있으나 얘랑 프로젝트 디네가 한다 봐도 상지지 고발하는 게 이번에 쓰려서 한다 봐도 상지라 얘기 이제 탄지적으로 상지지 고발하는 게 진짜 또 참
Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves who should take the responsibility to free all sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. I should take the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. But I do not have the ability to do so now. Only those who have achieved the state of enlightenment have the ability to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, by all means, I want to become Buddha.
어디에서 이제 통지제도 상지시 공부도 샤 논리면 세컨저가 논리가 다 있지 그래서 그 넘버 지지 센터 그 주요단계는 흔들면 공부는 형이 세 효치도 된다고 전주에서 형이니까 다 있지고 대도 도제가 제가 넘버 지지 주는 자체에서 도제는 세지는 것이
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind, that our aspiring conventional bodhicitta, thinking, for the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. These transform into a perfect mundis at our heart, and our ultimate bodhicitta, that is our mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, that all phenomena are lacking of inherent existence, and that transform into a white 5-pronged vajra on top of the mundis at our heart.
어디에서 더 공부다 이치다 다들 건강을 만들고 이렇게 주고서 어떤 건지 주고 있어요.
Next, we meditate on emptiness, that I neither exist intrinsically one with, nor intrinsically different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist intrinsically.
어디에서 이제 통지제도 상지시 공부도 대지도 어떤 최선에 명예 책임도 지는 대승전의 공부를 사도시서 보셨습니다.
Set motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. For this purpose, I'm going to receive the commentary on holy teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. 통기요나.
와서 가시되 홀로창하는 방법 때와는 요차와 때와 되나는 것은 대샤시도 무슨 다 대샤의 샤지 샤츠 샤든 대샤의 상대시 예 무데 파의 무데 상대시 다 주디 샤당 다 대해서 지질의 진지를 야 간다 안주야 돼 간다서는 tumulatinda kanda shedam jiya shedam atine wendo cha chiwa penzi chili jila tenshene kanda jiya dhruwa dijita jidan bishi isamabu yada dhawa chiwa so dodonda bu chiruwa da kanda zawanda bu tumut chana tumuli patila tine de kanda shedam da ndo cha chana diri warwa da di dhawa chiruwa.
So previously we already talk about the first ring, so that the innermost ring. So there are 3 animals here, and pig represents or symbolizes ignorance. Snake symbolizes anger or hatred, and bird or pigeon symbolizes attachment. So in dependence on ignorance, then becomes hatred and attachment. So it shows the root is the ignorance. So today we go to the second ring. So second ring, you can see half is white. Yeah, it's white, and another half is black.
내 개와도 무겨 내 되는 전제 그렇게 싫어.
Yeah. So basically, this second ring is divided into half, the white and the black. So the white represents the cause of turning in samsara. So it shows the virtuous cause, and the black represents or symbolizes the non-virtuous cause.
근데 거북이 차대 간다 제부이도 원지 거북 사치 기일에서 거북 사치 기일에서 와 거북이 간다 거북이 차대 이 제부다 이도다 기지 거북 사치 기일에서 사치 기일 다 나쁘기 차대 제부이도 원지 다 나쁘 무게에서 그래서 다시 보시면 아시죠
사실 미기벨레요. Yeah. So the white half represents the virtuous action, virtuous karma, right? So it represents the contaminated virtuous karma. So this half, the white one, represents the contaminated virtuous karma, and its result is attractive. And this black half symbolizes a non-virtuous karma, as mentioned just now, is the contaminated non-virtuous karma. So, and its result is unattractive.
야야
Oh.
어디 간다 니지로와 당연히 용다 시우데 홀로 림바니 바도 간다 내 거본 세지 띠도 여기 내 까나니도 그 까나니 때문에 쉬자 봐 거본은 나보니 that 거본 나보 데이가 나도 신지 덴도기 시주지 너 거본 이동 앞에 왕거본이 양도게 가시도와 어디 간다 스티에서 시주지 대치당 다 내나쁜 세지 때도 간다 나쁜 때는 내도기 시주지 안도 나고라 이도 모이 가시 틀도와 뭐만 틀어도게 다 디소 간다 그와 디소 가른 세고스나 다 덴도다 년도도 바시트 간다 덴도라 양도 바시트 년도라 만도 바시트 생각을 해서와 덴도란도 바시트 년도도 바시트 생각을 했어 당와서 덴도 밀란다고라 제와리 원나 아비 덴도 메 바시라도 그와 메 바시트 덴도 밀라 제와리스 당 년도는 마 제르들와 그 간다 년도 바시라 제와리 된 간다 년도 마 제르와 어디 바시트 생각을 했지
So just now I already told you about the meaning of this white half and also the black half. So and you can see the figures in the white half. So so they are the form of the form of higher or happy migrations. This white half shows the form of happy migrations, and they are going upwards. And this black half shows the form of miserable migrations or lower realms, and then they are going downwards. So these two, the second ring shows the Pado existence, or the intermediate state, or the Pado existence of going into the higher happy migrations, and this half shows the Pado stage of going to the lower states or the lower migrations. And if a sentient being is going to take a human rebirth, then first this being will go into the Pado state of human. Then similarly, if a sentient being is going to be born in animal realms, and this sentient being is first going to the animal Pado state first.
this samji chukia that leads so chinke samas kanda lanka shule yando yes it so lanka shule yando that kanda sinji so jebada that migi le janje le ke so samas kanda that migi shapa tabata ne mantim so dala jidwa that ana nyai shinji da so kanda ke tabata ne rawon ne ma ranchi ma keno ndure yes that wa dichi.
And then you can see so you can see the figures here, and then they are holding like a butter lamp. They are holding butter lamps. They are holding text, and then they are receiving the teachings from Buddha and etc. So it shows one is going to the white side, or is on the virtuous path. And then as compared to the another half, they are on the black side. So the figures here, they are being tied, their hands are tied, and then the ropes then tied to their neck and etc. And then they are being pulled down uncontrollably. And now we come to the third rings. The third rings. So the third ring, and then the upper part of the third ring, then it shows the human realms and also the God realm. So these two are the happy migration. So then you can see in the middle, the lower part of the third ring, the middle one is the hell realms. Then to its left is the animal realms, and to its right is the hungry ghost realm. So you may see that how come there are only 5 sections on the third rings? So it shows the 5 migrating beings, right? Then usually when we say migrating beings, there are 5 or there are 6 types. So the one type of migrating being is not explicitly painted, which is the demigods. So in demigod is also part of the god beings, therefore is not explicitly drawn. So some wheel of samsara, wheel of existence, and you can see there 6 sections or 6 migrating realms are drawn, and then some only draw 5. So if you see 5, then it means demigod's realm is not explicitly drawn. Yeah, so with demigods being included in the gods realm, so there are 5 realms or 5 types of migrating beings. So according to Treasury of Knowledge by Vasubandhu, then it says if it's according to the realms, so when we talk about the realms of the world, then on the ground, then there lives a human and animals, and underground there lives sentient beings, the hell sentient beings, and also the hungry ghost, and above the ground there lives a god, the god beings.
고사로와 단도와 저 리조도 고사가 소소도 내려 다 리농지 농지야가 돼서 나 nda본다 뭐보다 당아서 카드바 패키지 바는 사야 통해서 원래고 너와 어디는
And so in each realms of these five types of migrating realms, so you can see it shows the body, it shows the place, and it also shows the resources of each realms. So you can see their bodies, their place, and then also their resources.
당아서 라들 시오데 라들라 간다 좋아 리드까지서 단대 간다 수간다 수미기 하서 아무도 예수지 좋아 라들한테 간다 수미기 하서
So these God realms includes the god from desire realm, form realm, and formless realm.
다간을 하이도 하마이 있어지 어디 하이도 지저와 다지 세상이 말와 다도 저기 지당 와서 단내라고 참아지 시구나 뒤지고 잡았다 그거 차사금이라고 시구나 다간다 이제 하나다 수고 비자다 수미지 kanji 다 송지 다 하이도 하마이 있어데 니저도 와서 천상 리자고라고 천상 메주를 힘들고 쇼지 공세나 요리 예스다 하마이
주삼기
천상 지금 산이 매지 저기 힘도 뭘 말와 지금 산이 많이 있어.
지잡기 홍보 월라 주삼기 잠라.
나 주상 나와서 와. 천상지 미리를 힘도 쇼지 공세나 다 쇼니 무슨 공세나 요리에서 가만히
지잡기 홍보 월라 주삼기 잠라로. Yeah. So not only the God beings of desire realm, form realm, and formless realms are drawn in these sections, and also includes the demigods, which is part of God beings as well. So they are drawn in the same section. And yeah, if it talks about the place where demigods lives, so they lives under the Mount Sumeru and then near the water.
단데 라세와들 상봉아 좀 라세와들 리도 자치리요 신체자서 자치리는 것을 리자보라 딱한다 버리시어와 버리시들 간다 자치리 차여와 자치리요 다디 강아 소리자서 다 권한이야 참 리시 자치리 강로와 리 버리는 자치리요 디 강아 소리자서 디 강아 타다 디 강아 가디 디 강아 추가 예가는 이동 것이 따뜻한 권한 내가 좋아. 그런 거 해야 돼.
그래서 가디당 추가당
순지 자선이 해서 좋아. 순지 자선 제문으로 와. 그렇지 제문으로 와. 다 강야 타다다. 야 권한 차례 가디 권한 추가 권한 차례. 다 이동 것이 따뜻한 빠치 정원을 위해 다 되게
신지토와
세신도 것이야.
조바데 리바 가자 리바 조바데 신도 좋아 신주와 왕규와 되래. 추가리 강라 가리.
신주 왕시 강, 추가리 강라.
신주 왕시라.
신주 왕시 강라 요 말하던데라. 그래서 뻔리야 토시를 다 지금 전에 우리가 뜻이 아무도 못 쳐.
그래서
다 간다 코스 참아야 번나 강라 차리였어.
가디로 사마지 팅이는데. Yeah. So when we talk about the gods of the desire realms, so gods of desire realms are divided into 6 levels. So the lowest levels is the 4 heavenly kings, and then on top of that is 33 realms, and then on top of that is the level called free of battle. Then on top of that, I do not remember the name exactly, but it's something like Gade. Yeah. Yeah, sugar. So I'll say like something like liking. I don't remember exactly the name. So it's liking, and then on top of that is emanations or emanation enjoyment, and then on top of that is controlling other emanation. So they are the names of those levels in the 6 in the desire realms. Yeah, oh, yeah. So, yeah, the third one is free of strife. Yeah, free of strife. Then the fourth one is joyful. Yeah, joyful. And the fifth one is delighting in emanation. And the sixth one is controlling over others' emanation, or controlling other emanation. That's what. That's what. Sum 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 gero.
Oh, Tambola sum, Nimbala sum, Sumbala sum, Shibala, so genius, Papi Nasa, G. Kanda Judy. Sugola had made Judy or yes, that is on my yakana.
Something Tamoniba Suma Shiva. Yeah. So the gods in form realms are divided into 17 levels. So the first is the first dhyana, or the first concentration. The level is called first concentration. So there are 3 levels, and the second level is called second dhyana, or second concentrations. Then there are 3 levels again, and the third level is third dhyana, or third concentration. There are 3 levels again, and the fourth one is called fourth dhyana, or fourth concentrations, and there are 8 levels. So first 3. Each they have 3 levels, and then the last one is 8 levels, so it up to 18 levels, 17 levels. Namshi Thai Tambo. Nagatai. Jiang Me. Jiang Me Tang, the CJ.
This is a money is no massive. Ning is no mare. Kaba Sumila Chia, the late Saturday, the Kavani Chupana Taro Chia Moto. Ning is in Museum. Was need.
Ning is you, my
need the other dealing dealers and me. Not to stand it on the that's Sumisol and Dio and Dio Morrison, Suno, thing is, that's for me the Chia, the Satana, the Dundogina, mean a leash Satana, the Shiva, the Haros, the minute chill. Isn't this one
so, and the god beings of formless realm, then there are 4 levels. The first one is infinite space. The second one is infinite consciousness. The third one is nothingness. And the fourth one is peak of existence. So infinite space, consciousness, nothingness, and peak of existence. So the place, or the realms of formless realms is, cannot be identified. Yeah, because it cannot be identified that, or that the realms of the realms, the place where formless realms is here is there, it cannot be identified.
That is one to Kanda. Shiva Shiva the Kanda. Tili in a tuni, the Tili in a tuni, the Spanish Testament, and the one that you talk positive. So was the one of the quality talk positive. Indeed, the Spanish is new to what. We know you can do one, you can something positive.
So then we move to the outer ring, so the fourth ring, and this fourth ring shows how sentient beings circle in samsara. So this one is the first of 12 things of dependent arising. So, and this one is symbolized by old lady and also blind, a blind old lady. So this symbolizes ignorance.
다들 빼라 게임을 원하는 거 가서 스스로 디니스 원하는 스스로 디지 연습이 논리 요래서 와 디지 원하면서 원하는 자도 상황다 레버서 빼 논진데 칼라 신고 아무 가리나 스스로 잡아 강요가 빼라 논진데 요래서 와 논지야다 스스로 디지 요래서 서자라 논리 요래서 에디나 답에 수기 빼나 하장 개고 차는 때 간다 니 와서자 미디어 보면 와서자 스스로 사야 공야에서 다 스스로 비치에서 때 내 두고 말했어. 해라 레모도 봐. 레모도 봐. 스스로 만데 봐. 저다 양 와서 봐. 들마 사드에 리그레스 와. 스스로 비치 유하게 가사 사치사 예사 스스로 칼라 심보라야 들리기 체는 로라이나 다 간다. 된도모도 봐. 된도가 지나 간다. 양 사는 거 예서 와. 칼라 심보라 뭐 사는 거 예서 ade
So the outer ring shows the 12 links of dependent arising, and the first link is ignorance and is symbolized by a blind old lady. So blind old lady means that even the meaning that is trying to, the symbolized meaning is even though one wish to go to a happy place and then one wish for a lot of resources, a lot of nice food to eat, a lot of nice water to drink. Even though you have such wish, but however, your body has become old, and then one has become blind. So even though one wish for those happy place and those resources, but you cannot reach that happy place. You are unable to walk towards a happy place, and then you cannot enjoy those resources. Instead of getting what you wish for, one go to a place one do not wish for example, fall into the cliffs or fall into abyss. Yeah. So one has become old and then one is blind. So you might get the food you might have food to eat and you might have water to drink. However, the water maybe is not clean. The food maybe is old already or rot already or is poisonous, not clean, dirty, etc. Then you take you eat such food, then you experience intense suffering. Yeah. So this blind old lady shows or symbolize ignorance. So if one has ignorance, then one will not be able to reach the destination one wish for. And on top of that, one will face a lot of difficulties. For example, when one become old, then one become blind, etc. One cannot see things clearly. So if one fall if one fall under the control or influence of ignorance, then one become confused with karmic cause and effect, and then one become confused with the reality or the suchness as well. So even though one wish for the excellent happiness that one can enjoy in God realms or the human realms, and even if one wish for definite goodness, such as liberations and the state of enlightenment, you cannot reach the place one wished for because of under the influence of ignorance. Instead, one will fall in the abyss or the cliffs of lower realms. So because of this ignorance, then one creates negative karma. Because Maripati she want to do ina de nyen de jom gere da de yang du gere.
That is Magasa death full of the Hacha Dawn Shuchim. That Chatan Tay one we take on that Penodam Bushi for Banging Bushi. Yes, they did Loda Mobile, Maripati Latini. They did know that Latini, Maripati Latini. Don't for Sipala, and the Duan Nansa Nubia. Duan Nansa Nubia. But did you do this Maripati? They did draft Naragi. Nina, Jung, in the telephone, Chasing Chuchim Monkey, the Shina Magasa, the Jati part. They actually telephone, Dawn Chuchim, they only the name of the Saga. But that the deal only take on that Dunalama and Nolma, they found that cover charming Mamulman Nobia. And in Nobia, the land also sorry, Nobia, the disagree, yes, thought is a day. By him,
Yeah, so in dependence on the ignorance, or if one fall under the control of ignorance, then one will sustain one's friend or keeps one's friend and subdue enemy. So what does it mean is one will develop attachment towards friends, relatives, and the beloved ones, and then one will generate anger or hatred towards the enemy. So wishing to subdue them, wishing to eliminate them, or get rid of them. So in dependence of ignorance, attachment and anger arise, and due to these two attachment and hatred, then one accumulates karma. Then one will experience the result of difficulties, problems, fall in the lower realms, and experience eons for eons and eons. So the root of this is the ignorance. So if ignorance is not removed, then one will experience sufferings again and again in samsara. And so if we were to talk about this, the first link, ignorance in detail, then it involves many explanations about the assertions of ignorance. So in summary, when we talk about ignorance, this ignorance is the ignorance that motivates projecting karma. Ignorance that motivates projecting karma. So then the second links is symbolized by a person who is making pot. Yeah. So what does this potter making a pot symbolizes? So it symbolizes compositional activity. Yeah, so this one is the second links of dependent arising and the link of compositional activities. And the pictures here is the image here is a potter making different types of pots. So a potter can make different types of pots. It can be a big one, or it can be a small one, or it can be a good quality one, or it can be a bad quality one. Some few of the pots are good qualities that can earn you a lot of money, and then some bad quality of pot, then it will after you made it, and it will just it breaks a few minutes after you made it. So a potter can make different types of pots. So it shows or it symbolizes the compositional activity. Yeah, just like a potter can make different types of pots, as I mentioned just now, big, small, good quality or bad quality. So this composition, and it symbolizes compositional activities, right? And these compositional activities here also refers to projecting karma. So, these compositional activities able to project a different rebirth from the very peak of existence down to hell. So, and wherever you're born, it can be the peak of existence, or it can be the lowest hell as possible. Then, however, it's still in samsara. So, one creates this projecting karma that projects rebirth in samsara. So, the different pots represents the different compositional activities that projects different rebirths in samsara. So and some good quality pots, as the example shows the projecting karma that projects a rebirth in higher realms such as human and gods, and the bad qualities one refers to the projecting karma that projects a rebirth in lower realms, hell, hungry ghosts, animal. So, and even though they project a rebirth in different realms, and then one will experience a different degrees of suffering or experience different degree of happiness as well. So this is this is the compositional activities the second links symbolize. Pinji semjung semba.
Oh, yang si shima pinji.
Pinji semjung semba de. Yang si shima pinji semjung semba.
Oh, mari bi pin hane. Yang si shima pinji semba chima da di thundung da ji. Ab de bo lo ja bo da. Chidang as de da chin do bo ji ba de bo ba.
Yeah, if to explain the compositional activities in detail, then it requires a lot, the explanations will be very long. So to summarize it, so what does compositional activities refers to? So and compositional activities is the intention that projects, having motivated by ignorance. So what does compositional activities means or refers to? So it means having motivated by ignorance, the intention that projects a future rebirth. So having motivated by ignorance, the intention that projects future rebirth is compositional activities. So then we come to the third things of dependent arising, which is consciousness, and the image here is a monkey. Yeah. So monkey, as we know, monkey, as we say, in our in our normal conversations in Hokkien, there we say 做北雕. So what it means is it cannot stay at one place. So monkey, as you know, then it always moves here and there, right? And it cannot sit at one place. And then involves in many activities, doing this, doing that, jump here and there. So jump from one tree to another tree. So always do a lot of things and then cannot sit still. So that is why monkey is drawn here. Then, and in summary, when we talk about the symbolic monkey, and it means the monkey cannot sit still and it jump from one tree to another. So this the summary about this monkey.
다 바차의 상보이나 상보지라마 지와 지는 거래. 년바이나 지와 년바지라마 지는 거 같다.
내기 봐야 돼.
오 내지 바차의 야래 같다. 그런 빈도. 바차의 상보 야부 여바이나 대 코로나 시야 따디 야부 여다 간다. 배 잘라 야부 주파선다 코로나서 랑가 야부 여. 다 바차의 년바지나 대 나시된 도상 년바지마 여. 와. 어디래?
Yeah, so it symbolizes the links of consciousness. So having motivated by ignorance, one accumulates karma, right? Accumulates projecting karma. So, and this projecting karma leaves the imprint on consciousness. So it has a link with the previous links. Yeah. So here is the projecting karma. So one accumulate the projecting karma, and then this projecting karma leaves. Where does the imprint of this projecting karma leaves? It leaves on consciousness. So, and this imprints of consciousness or latency of karma, or the potency of karma, or the imprints of karma, it leaves on consciousness. So this imprints, latency or potency, it can be the good one, or it can be the bad one. If it is a good potency of karma, then it leads one to the good path. And if it is a bad latency or potency of karma, then it leads one to the negative route or the bad path.
따라서 나시 된데서 얼마 다 스미스나와 다 다지 공부 시바나지 말이 비피는 한테 내에서 보이래서 내지 빠져 나시 되는 샤사 다 빠쳐 고서 기신다고 그래 나시 된데서 얼마 다 나시 된데 코란 방어 세우데 페이지 내지 빠쳐 너무 다들 좀 이진하리 지자 페이지 내지 빠쳐 고서 이진하시지 페이지 내지 빠쳐 샤사게 그비 다 이진하시 지에서와 당어서 너도 치통도지 보게 보지와 페이지 내지 맞아 와라마 지와 페이지에 간이지나 레디게 빠차 샤사게 나시지서 빠차 너무 좀 이진하리 지에서 리스크도샤
이긴 당시에로
이진하시지
맞소. So having motivated by ignorance, one accumulates projecting karma, and this the latency or potency of the projecting karma leaves on consciousness. Yeah, so it is where the latency or potency of projecting karma lives. So it's the place, and the potency, the projecting karma leaves its potency or the latency on it. So this is consciousness, and specifically it refers to mental consciousness.
다 되지 당어도 시바인다 다 시바 미수지 된데서 어디다 다 시바 미수지 된데라 그래서 비비 가르쳐야 되더라 이제 샤도와 주자도와
Yep. So the fourth link is name and form. So name and form is symbolized by this image sitting in a boat.
다 되지 고등아 나시도마 유나시 중간에다 된거는 이 실내에서 가지 이후에 신도 진의 정말 나시 세와데 바샤고사게 나시데 다 지왕아마는 누군데 심만 상지 살아만 로게 맞는 나시 차대 어디니 시가라고 나시는 것도 비율 빼샤고 비율의 신도 진의 중간에는 그래서 내 나시데 생각만이 너무 근데 심만이 내가 상지 살아야 된다 시간도는데 나시를 차고 그래 그 나시들 그러나 잘라도 야부지 표현에 야산도로 와 바샤 상부지 표현이나 야산도 그래 바샤도 누에지 표현은 이제 막 이거로 만들고 와 어디래
So just now I forgot to mention that one has a monkey jumping from one tree to another, right? And it shows the consciousness where the potency of projecting karma lives on, and then this consciousness travels from one life to another. So this is what monkey jumping from one tree to another means. So mental consciousness or the consciousness then travels from previous life to these lives, and then it goes to future lives until one reach the state of enlightenment. So if this consciousness, carries a good potency or good latencies, then one is going to the good side. And then if one carries a lot of the bad potency, then one is going to the bad side. Yeah, so the symbolic image here is sitting in a boat, and so in the past where there are not many vehicles available, then a boat is one of the vehicles they mainly used in the past. So through sitting in a boat, then one travel from one end to another end, from one shore to another shore. So what it means is one travels from this life to future lives, and it also means from the Bado state one travel to a future state, or from travel to the birth state. Yeah, so this name and form subsume the 5 aggregates. So this name and form subsume the 5 aggregates. So name is one, form is one. So name and form, right? So this name contains the 2nd aggregates up to the 5th aggregates. So except the form aggregates is not included. Then from feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness. So these 4 aggregates are mental consciousness, and they are subsumed under name. And the first aggregate, which is the form aggregates, then is subsumed under the form. So name and form. These 2 subsume the 5 aggregates. Yeah. So if one is going to born in formless realm, then this being then will have the name part. So name and form, right? So if one person is going to born as a formless realm, then this being do not have the form part, because formless being, they do not have a form. So they have the rest of the aggregates: feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness. Yep. Yeah. So this name and form then is likened to a boat. Then one travels from the bottle state to the birth state. So this when a being is first when a being consciousness first entered into the womb of the mother, then at that moment like the eye is not formed yet, the ear is not formed yet, and the tongue is not formed yet. Then even though they do not have the complete the complete faculties, however they are still subsumed under the name and form. So these fourth links, name and form. So if a sentient beings have, if a sentient being has any of these two, then is grouped under the name and form. So for example, so you can see the name and form shows two things, right? So why do we have to separate it? Is because sentient beings, a being who is going to born as a formless realm, then these sentient beings do not have the form aggregates, right? Therefore, we say if a sentient being has any of these two, then it's grouped under the name and form. So so even though the sentient beings as I was going to born in the formless realms do not have the form part. However, this sentient being has the name part. As I mentioned just now, it has the second up to the fifth aggregates. Yeah. So the fifth one is sources. So and the symbolic image is empty city. Yeah, so it can be you can understand it as an empty city, or you can also understand it as an empty house. So the symbols here shows that it is an empty city or is an empty house, but there is no people. There is no people living in it. Kasa di ming su ina di kasa wangbo ini di chasang di tuyo maro kap di ini di wangbo di tutsaro. Yeah. So previously, when at the stage of name and form, the sense powers or the faculties are not complete yet. So when one moves from the previous link to next link, which is sources, at this point, then sentient beings, the senses. The sense powers are complete. The sense powers, the five sense powers are complete. Previous is not complete. So at this point of time, the sources, then the senses are complete, which is a cause for its its result, which is the supported consciousness. So the sense powers are complete, are established. However, the supported consciousness, the supported as it refers to the consciousness is not established yet. So this is why it's called empty houses. The sense power is the support, and the consciousness that relies upon it, they are the supported. So the sense powers are complete or are established already, but the consciousness are not established yet.
Ages reba derwa that ages reba de pe de correction of worship and to worship the bill.
So then we move to the next link is the link of contact, and then the symbolic image is kissing.
That they can to worship as the worship the kanda that children tribats are racing or that so chepa someone want to marry that the location she got a repair. 다치당 가서 소화지요 요래서 뭐야. 얘가 다시 공도 가서 진짜 가서 가서 소화 제트려 말아. 그래서 땜바 때 왕부터 줘야 되나 땜바 나시도 줘야 말이스 기신 거와. 다단다 디레바 가서다 땜바 나시도 주사 주사 좋아.
남시 안 두어라.
주사래. 다 땜바 나시 주는 가서 소화다 sama 주사로와. 주사를 돼 이나베 피수 소바 야부 줘야 말이스 거다. 와. 네. 맞아. 배추 워시바다 집안에 땜바 나시도 주도 요래서 주도 요래데 이나 네. 당아서 소화 관리를 해봐야 소화에 대화다 동아 참모 휴치문이나 등지기 이거를 토요 말이에요. 이도 배치하다 주고 워시바다로 해서 그러. 다 주고 워시바 당지 근데 대화 필수서 받던 리드게 녀도 말이 말이나 안다 대화지다 동아지 내도 와.
대두기 좋아하는데 주신보된 용기
답에 하천 전부터 리드도 말이 필수서 받는 말이에요. 그러.
Yeah. So kids, two kids, two kids kissing. So why does it mean? Why the symbolic image is two kids kissing? So when the previous link at the links of sources. So at that time, the supported consciousness hasn't established yet, right? So when we come to the next link, the sixth link, then at this point of time, the supported consciousness has already established. It's just that it is not fully established yet. Established, but it's not fully established yet. So at this point of time, there is no feeling. So at the sixth stage of contact, then the feeling, the sentient beings can experience the feeling already. One can experience the feeling. It's just that one cannot fully experience the feeling, just like two kids kissing each other. So even though one can experience the feeling of pleasure and suffering, however, they cannot experience it intensely.
인들한테 소위 제바야 때 소화 휴침볼 이야기 주진 제거를 해서 소화 휴침볼 이야기 제적으로 말다 그런 거 소화 휴침볼이 말 유다 원시 유다 원본 원시스가 최네 간다 소화 지제우디 맞아 제바 지제우디 소화 지리그로 왔어 소화 지리그로 되이나도 다 소화 휴침볼 되는 거 말해서 간다 소화 등화이나 등화 휴침볼 이야기 된 농마시 봐 디와이나 디와 휴침볼. Yeah,
so from the mere collections of object, sense powers, and consciousness, then one has contact. So one has contact. So due to this contact, one able to experience feeling. So yeah, it links to the understanding from another class. So from the mere collections of object, sense power, and consciousness, then contact arise, and due to contact, one experience feeling. So even though one experience feeling, one cannot experience it fully or intensely. However, it serves as a condition for one to experience it fully in future. So then we move to next link. Next link is the 7 links of feeling, and the symbolic image is a person whose eyes is shot with an arrow.
Nanshi, Temba Nanshi, the Takanda, never cheated of the Niva chance of Lew, Takandawa. Here as Niva chance of Lew. Nazo Tanda, Peshavina, Nehana Vachila, Peshavina, never the Vachila, Shachin the Tongana, Naso Jimmy Jilla, Shachitangi, Jimmy is me, Jadwa. Did JD Shachitan, the Kashi, Susu Tuba Reba, some of the Lewu. 제 샤지 땅어디 이 소알레르 쓰고다 소 몰레바디 사마로 다 동아 슈체 못 나스 쳔못 타한테 니케 리고 말아 나스 딩에 슈체 못 타한테 리고 마 소알지 리고 로 어디가 레바 가서 미지 소알지 레바지 무슨 드레제 와 나시시 다 딤바 소알칼리디 다 망이네 치라 마 샤지 땅어디 다 샤지 땅어디 드미 소알이네 마지 바치나 다 드미 소알이네 마지 바이나 다 왜네 쩨때 가르지 땅제나 그 소알 다 슈체 못 동아 리고 와다 that they know she Jimmy Maji make and shut it down
yeah. So then I'll say if a person whose size is shot with an arrow, then you cannot imagine how painful the feeling is, right? One will experience intense sufferings. So at this point of time, the supported consciousnesses has able to work fully, so it performs able to perform their functions fully. So for example, if a person going to do an operations, then they will put I do not remember the exact word, so that they put the substance or so they put a substance that makes you feel numb, right? I don't know. Anyway, then you understand. So, they put the substance on top of it. Then, when they do this, cutting and etc. or operations, then you do not experience it pain. Experience the pain intensely, right? So it kind of numbed the senses. So then, even though it numbs the senses, you still can feel a little bit when when your flesh is being cut and etc. So here it doesn't. At this point of time, one experiences the intense suffering. It means if a person is going for operations, then they do not put anything to numb your senses, then they straight away go for the operation. So this is how intense the feeling is.
That's all. But so I got stuck on the Jepa, you do one, you do more. I'm not sugar on that. That's why did the Tanya Suga Pina. She changed you be color.
Yeah, because of you, right?
So what did do? So what they were doing at Tanya. So what the she changed to you color that they got the but so as it was a thing in Maribashi, but so you got still living here.
So what they
machine about that. Amal Patin is wounded. I want to use him my gun machine and somebody shooting back. Oh, that I'm change as a beach. Or change as a do not ship the combat the ship and not stem but not ship the term of the Shwambu. That repair my lady, that repair lady, that to go ship up. I look at ship a chance on the too much. So I did the chance I could shoot him a woman too much. That didn't but so I lady, that so I did the shoot him cuts in a chance on too much. That day as a you watch chance too much. We deal about that.
Tikabla because I did pull with the kids are among the giver.
I'm so what did the channel later out that one?
Did you
need to channel more to have the later one?
Oh,
that Amali, so when I didn't ever walk. When I enough, so did the shoot the channel later one.
That's all. Yeah, so at this point of time, one able to experience the feeling fully. So whether it's a pleasure feelings, pleasant feelings, or is a painful feelings, or is a equanimity or neutral feelings, one can experience it fully. So you can see that from sources, then up to contact, then up to feeling, then the senses, the feelings is developed gradually. So at this point of time, feeling has fully developed.
That is a garden. Jeba Seba Drawa. That's Seba did pay the Karjandu. That Jeba Chanton Shadow Pay.
Then we move to next link. Then the links of craving. Then the symbolic image is the symbol is a person drinking alcohol.
That is Jeba Chanton the Shawnee. That can the Seba Seba Drawa. That was a Nimban disease was you are. Nimban disease or Maribi, and the Nimban disease you are. Or that Nimban disease, then the disease de la Kanda, Legion, Nibala Kanda, Sweet and Seba Drawa. Elias Pigi Legit Swa, the Wachiban Deda Mandawan did their cha. Do not chip on a Deda Tawan did their cha. I can't challenge you that Seba Drawa. 세파 세와데 대화지다 맞아와 양자들 대화들 차피 차세로와 간다 대화다 덴디지베 자 대화다 맞아와데 자 딜러와 오 동아 집안에 대다 자완데 자 오디 딜러 간다 세파 세와데 딜리 레티글 파체시기다 맞은 어디 시고와 실레시 파스무스나 시고와 세파데 멤버니 저거지와 내가 제시게 아까 대지지지 그래서 방법 말이 되는 대지지 내서 내지 바차도 마시게 사자와 이 차를 내 바차들라 간다 수단들이야 바차디야 미지게 다음에 이게 바차들 내놓을 지구나 내놓을 지지게 속게 이게 막 내놓을 지구는 내놓을 뭐 지지게 속게 수단들이와
Yeah, so this number 8 is craving. So craving is the activator. So it's the activator or is the one who nourish the potency of the compositional activities. So to activate or the one who nourish the potency left by the compositional activities. So just now when we talk about the first link is ignorance, right? So due to ignorance, then one accumulates karma, and the imprints or potency or latency of these compositional activities of projecting karma leaves on consciousness, right? So when we come to number 8, craving, this craving is the one who nourish or is the one who activate the potency left by the projecting karma. So, basically, when we talk about this craving, so craving is the attachment. The attachment, wishing not to be separated from happiness, and also the attachment wishing to be separated from suffering. So it refers to attachment. So when we when we talk about the conditions for karma, so the conditions for karma or conditions for the projecting karma is mainly refers to two. So there are two main ones who mainly activates or nourish it. So the first one is craving, and the second one is grasping, which we will talk after this one. So basically, the activator or the one who nourish the potency left by the projecting karma is the one who ripen, to wake up those potency.
당어도 때 진리에 제바 세바된 가서 담은 뒤시는 봐. 간다려와 대화의 최반되는 데 자시와 뒤시는 봐. 대화의 최반되는 데 자. 와. 동화의 자완되는 데 자. 그래서니와 남이지 구벌라 차는 데 자시. 그래서 남이지 구벌 때 해라 차니 지는 데 자. 와. 남이 고쳐. 데 자. 송나비 지샤지와 담은 뒤로 지와.
Naming Pumbola. Yeah. So just now, I mentioned there are two types of attachment, right? So craving means craving refers to attachment, and the first one is attachment wishing not to be separated from happiness, and the second one is attachment wishing to be separated from sufferings, and the third type of attachment is attachment attaching to the ripened aggregates or the aggregates of fruition.
다들 제부 청동하는 샤브에 빼들어와 밤이 그 제부 청동하는 줄때 다 청라때 같이 투나 되는 엄마들 봐야 돈에 저것도 나지 청라 가보도 리서와 청라 가보도 간다 청 같이 돈에 양자배 돈에 저거지 그래서 민감다 사들 유치고다 미 시야라고 가르사는 소리 저 양자 사고야지 그다 들리기때 뭔가 뭐하면 좋지 그 같이 투나 소소 간다 둘 수포토를 놓아다 소소게 아소나 내지야 그 둘둘가 마다 야르가 게 아마라 같이 투나 그 뭐부터 와이나 간사지를 때 소소 졸라 간 거야 다 대능시 그래서다 제가 세바티
Yeah, so the third type is attachment attaching to ripened aggregates. So why a person drinking alcohol is drawn here is because if a person drinks alcohol, a person who like alcohol so much, then they want to drink alcohol again and again, right? And they cannot be satisfied however much they drink, so they just want to drink more. They always ask for more. So, and similar to their substances or their medicines or their substance or like pills or medicines, once they take it like drug, then once they take it, then they become intoxicated, and then they're addicted, and they want to take it more and more. So this will only harms our body. So our bodies will become weak, and then it will harms our lives. It will even harms our life, and also destroy destroy a person.
Oh, that is the channel. Number me for Nashita. The chance of the Tari, but the chance of the Nazu Yekanda Tilawa Nazunaji Mamu shooting Barua. The chance of the Nazope, how you go, Sup Hasaku T Labo. The church is that you the Kundu is the Cheba Chemura. Kundu is a Lanzago Kundu Nichia Yudi is Kumbo Shangua. The church is that you the Hajan mind. What that they were the Pesusu Dewa. 같이 정말이나 되려 몸만 봐야 앉아 배 되려 세바 휴치를 세바 휴치를 치우스는 너다 치치를 쓰고 하다와 너다 치치를 쓰고 뭐 들리선다 왜 너다 치치를 대왕이 될 레소리아 제부스디아 저번 좀 미치다 너다 치르스나 언제는 저번 좀 미우와 어디
제부 등이 교복이
어디 등에 저번 좀 미우와
Yeah, so attachment is like drinking alcohol. So one will never feel satisfied, and always want to drink more. So however much you you take, you enjoy it, then the more you want it. So because of this, then the craving will increase. So the craving increase, then you will give rise to more problems, and it will also speed up the process for one to experience suffering. So when we talk about attachment, so attachment and anger, so they have their own object, right? The object of attachment and the object of hatred or anger. So object of attachment can arise easily, independence on the object of the attachment. There are many objects of attachment, and because of this, then one's attachment arises easily as compared to the object of anger. So the object of anger comparatively is lesser, and thus it also the arising of the anger comparatively is also lesser as compared to attachment.
피지질리지 빠차들 담부 생기게 된다. 피지질리지 빠차들 담부 생기게 들어와. 담부 생기게 제버세 받치와.
So in summary, this number 8 craving is the first activator of the potency of projecting karma. So it's the first one to activate the potency of projecting karma.
That is niba guba 들어와. 구바 렘바서 들어와. 다 군바 렘바든 가서 찌울래 배상도와 찌위 신도 나마 사기 심마 나야 놓지 그와 렘바든 가서 딜 배상도.
And then we go to next link. Next link is a monkey picking fruit. A monkey picking fruit, and it symbolizes grasping.
But 찌우 배 간다 다 딜로다 찌우 신도 나마 사기 심마야 나야 양야 놓지 지 사비들 양자 휴체로 다 이들 단다도 휴체로 다 제바 세바 딜 양자 니가 세바 차대 세바레데 다 단다 세바티 딜 휴체로 와 누가 렘바티 찌우 배 신도 담보 배 신도라 사야 찔려오지 차바지 찔려 차세 찔려 딜 차바니 바디 양세 양자 사야 이제 바디 휴체로 찔려오지 다 차바도 페르페르로라 간다 차세의 휴체체로 와 지사마상은 지난 와서 니가게라 하장 변장아 첨보스기 나오야 영화 첨보지 왜 담보야고 쉬지라 봐야 돼 앉아도 니바드라도 숨바드라도 버지와 어 내나시 예, 기동한 마지 사마상의 양자지 거 량 다시 제거 한다. 어디 세바디 휴체를 왜 말해. 다디 네가 가서 페이지 레터를 썼다고 한다. 일단 페이지 레터 받아들여 썼다고 한다. 뭐 제바 세바디 당부 세바드 자신의 바 기사소한 이슈서로 와. 다 양자 고발 렘바디기 양자 비울 빼셔가지고 아마 사기 심마 양자 양자 넣는데 그 제라 차보가니 양아 치를 와 시켜고 세바디.
Lembadero.
렘바디.
Yeah, so the 8 is a craving, right? Then we move to next one. Then the next one is grasping, the 9th links of dependent arising. So it is the link of grasping. So these two are craving. These two, 8 and 9, are craving. Just that grasping is the intense. It's an intense type of craving. So because one has experienced it, right, then one wants more. So when you want more, then you have got the first one, then you want the second one, the third one, and the rest. Then it becomes an intense type of craving, and it's called grasping. Both are craving. It's just that one is the intense type, and they are both. These two, the craving and grasping, are the activator to activate the potency or the latency of projecting karma. So why is it called? Why is it? The image is a monkey picking fruit is because when monkey they eat fruit, while eating a fruit, then they another hand start to grab another fruit and eat, right? So this shows a person or a being becomes very greedy. So they not once they got the first one, then they want the second one, the third one, etc.
다 빼셔와는 가서 그걸 렘바데 빼. 주다 시다 남도 치 간디나 데르고 하자 신차 첨부 기지 신으로 와.
수다
그걸 렘바도 와. 그걸 렘바데 신차 첨부 좀 가서 빼셔와이나. 다 세바데 렘바니 슈치주 간디샤가나. 가서 모비 진을 나보지나 소소 밑에라. 그 담보 모비도 빼. 데라 차세지는 모비도 소소 야부리 통마치 데라 가와치 데로와. 모비데라 차세지는 데라 가이. 그 모비 야부리 우선 빼데라 세파치는 제바 세바노시. 아니 바 렘바서 딱 모비도 나라 마지 탑도 딱 인지 민지 알아게. 니네데 라바 지린 사태 세바 추첨을해서 와. 그 렘바. 니네 와. 뭐다 제바 세바데 모비들 참바지 디야 텔페 현자 친구 현자 제. 현자 제. 현자 제바 좀 마지 그바 렘바디 딱 등하라 마시나 탑도 상 인지 민지 거스서 라게.
Yeah, so an example to show the connections or the distinctions between these two. So the craving and grasping. So one, the craving is the lesser type of attachment, and grasping is the intense type or the intense type of attachment. So if a person see a handphone, a mobile phone or a handphone, then the person first see then like it very much, then attachment has arise, and that at that point of time that is craving. Then if a person keeps thinking about it, and then one thinks that I must get it, that I don't care, I just want to get it. Then when you have this thought, then it has become an intense type of attachment that is grasping. So now we have come to the ninth link, which is grasping. So before I move on to next link, then I only talk about this, the wheel of existence, 12 links of dependent arising. One ring of it is 12 link of dependent arising. I only explain it in brief because if I were to talk in very detail, then it requires a lot of time, and then we will find it very difficult to understand it as well. Then it might, then become, it might, one might not, at the end of the lessons, if I were to explain in detail, then at the end of the lessons, one might not understand anything at all because there's too much information, too informative, then we cannot grab the essence of it, then we might not understand anything at all. So I only explain it in brief so that we can, understand the essence of it, then keep in our mind. So the next one is the 10th link. The 10th link is Siba, right? Yeah, so the 10th link is existence.
That you was Siba also show the law. That the paid over the permit too much in the Shandua, which are the digital patient.
And the image here is a pregnant woman.
Kanda permit which and the tongue as a kitchen of the kitchen in Banka, the kitchen of the kitchen or
kitchen in
what the kitchen in Banka, the kitchen of the with the little Watara, the patient of the myself. The kitchen in Banka, the kitchen of the
yeah. So this pregnant woman then refers to a time when a mother is about to give birth to a baby. It's like next moment this mother is going to give birth to a baby. So refers to that time.
That the loading also Sipa Siwata Kanda, Yansi Shima, the Yansi Shima Pudua Kanda, Amano Yansi Shima Pud Chadra, the Yansi Shima Chiwala Kanda, Nipan to change to get Yansi Shima Rua, the Sepa the Lebanese, Piji, Siniji, Piji Legislatarwa, Piji Legit, Piji Lela Kandarwa, Sepa the Lebanese, Piji Legit, Pachala Sueta, the Yansi. Duba Shiri, Duji, they can't achieve a city, there is a Chuba Siba de Roa. Amo Piji Dela, Sile Sepan, Suetarwa, which Pachala Sile Sepan, Sueta. This Sueta was in there, Yansi Shima, and you got to cheat Chocho, Navachi. A day, Sipitan, they say, what? Or Sipitan.
Duji Lero.
Duji lady, Pachala, Duji lady. Page, but Piji legit Pachadela, legit Pachalape, Silly Sipan, you say that Silly Sipan, you say Tani. They can that Piji legit Pachal say that Yansi Dubashi. Yansi, that Yansi was a Amaduma push of the food, the Chiva de Yansi. Oh,
Yansishima de
Kichishima, Nibalma, Chicho. Oh, that is the Chuba Sibi in the Ezra Sibat.
Yeah, so this existence also refer to future existence. So future existence or rebirth. So the second link is the compositional activities, right? And the imprint of the projecting karma is nourished by craving and grasping. So having nourished the potency, then the one who the one who actualize the future existence, the one who actualize the future existence that makes one one is ready to take rebirth. So one is ready to be given. The one who actualize, the one who actualize and make a future existence ready, or produce one. Next one. So this existence is the one who makes one to be ready to to produce a future rebirth. It's the one who make ready to produce future rebirth. So this is what existence referred to or means.
That also Chichipachi is what that Chichipachi, Jewade, that was a Chupa Amal Chitani, the Jiki, Nibal Shicho, that teaching Nibal Tapu with the Jeva. 这一点的是不是基本的变，当我们决定我那不的，阿妈嘛这才的结巴是我那想过了嘛都，阿妈中国人那不解释的我嘛那哪去
？Yeah. So yeah. So it's the one who make the productions of future existence ready. So that is what this pregnant lady or this assistance refers to. Then next one is birth. The kiwaro is kiwaro. Yeah. So 11 is birth. So it means yeah. So then the second moment is the mother give birth to a baby.
那等你别下过来的，俺说，那就这个用到了，俺说，阿妈个嘛，不过接，才的得了，不过接下是那个接完浪下是打那个看到了吧？不过接下是那个话嘛，阿妈个中国人当初不过吃过，不过接都是那个嘛，是吧？不过接那个嘛的。那等到等俺说的，我心里嘛，接些的人上讲嘛，他比那个了，我说接些主持人看
到。Kazanga lah ni di tambu yudu ni di buku kisah是那个。
哦，我你的我说不过接下是那个嘛了。阿妈嘛，接菜的都是不过现在接触过的哇。那第二个呢是，我说没接些了嘛，接完浪头的，他当不没把些的嘛军着过哇。那把些的嘛，接些的，阿妈跟俺的嘛，你上讲嘛，他比那个了，他刚才接完浪菜，没接完浪菜哇。他这接完浪菜吧的话，就这个实在把他几把的也是他的背下过哇。阿妈这个是了嘛，接菜吧的几把的，他没给接完浪菜啊，没给接完浪菜。파마니 간다 근데 제발 때니 단나시도 뭐게 파마니 쿠탄 디발 때 나시 데 슈서와 단나시 데 슈서데 슈비 토마 슈비 네가나 제발랑사 다 미기 제발랑사 다 미기 제발랑사데 이나 답에 수고 두야다 원부 저도 두두야 말와 원부 저 두두야 말다 간다 제발랑사 있어와 다데 제발랑바다 근데 아말마 보고 실로마 제발에 지바 베텔에 샤워와 베텔에 샤워와
So this link, birth, 11 link, birth. So how say? Usually when we say birth refers to a mother giving birth to a baby, then we call it the baby is born, right? So however, in fact, when we first talk about when a being takes rebirth, it doesn't refer to this time. So it's just well known to the world that a baby is born, then then we say birth, right? However, a person actually takes rebirth when the consciousness first entered into the mixture of the blood and the blood and the mixture of the father and mother. So when the consciousness first entered into the mixture of substance of father and mother, then that is the first moment a sentient being has taken rebirth. So even though at that time the body is not formed yet, the senses is not formed yet, however, a sentient being has already taken rebirth. So it refers to the first moment of it. That is the actual time when the sentient being takes rebirth. However, what is well known to the world is when a mother gives birth to a baby, then we call it birth.
他们是接我是我哪几辈接我浪差的是我的对的，没有那辈他们那些他们就比那个呢，他接我是浪差的是就把心里嘛拘留的话，把心里嘛今天的没我的人唱讲嘛，他的那个接受人唱讲嘛的那个呢，他讲他接我浪差的也是，那哪几的老的话，介绍可能接我浪差的话
，Yeah, so the first moment when the consciousness entered into the mixture of the substances from parents, then that is that is the moment a sentient being has already taken rebirth. So a sentient being has moved from the battle state to a birth state.
那这些他中医不灵的，他查啥么？他就我只讲知道，他就我是我知道我是我就我这我就用这天天心里相当的，他忙不成就的。因为当我这生活跟查个么呢，查啥么的，他节目忙不呢，点点可能没些去，还能去穷人的康些么的，去路上么，那么差不多，他中医不该是点点点的，这成绩可相多，
柔阔的
啊，
柔阔
的相多啊，
说。Yeah, so then we move on to the 12th links, the last link. Then is a person, and the image is a person who carry a corpse on the back.
That only bagage is a go the sheet in the that didn't
And it shows the link of birth. It shows the link of aging and death.
That on the guide in this order. That Sanjit Michi Gato on the Michi Ro Contact Pisha Warwa. Rokon is such an energy Pumo. Nimisawa Koji, children, such an energy Pumo to me. Then non Japan, Juan Rudi, then Juan Rudi Terwa. Then Nimisawa Koji, children, or that Kanda Jin Rokon Rua.
Nimisawa.
Kanda war meeting. That Kanda Shilua.
Such an energy Pumo de Kiwando.
Then Juan Rua the halfway check Kanda. Such a new Pumo in Juan Rua, the Tembo Yomarwa. So you can do such a new York and Indiana. The Tembo Kayama, that upon Juan Rua halfway check. The Mijo Conrad. And once Naji Tabariship is only Machine Ship Maritin Papa Tansi Future Yorwa. Tansi Future Yorwa. Or that in this one, that Tansi is to Boyata. Then Juan Rua Yawa. That is some of the where she
So usually, as most of us, as most of the people, we have a strong attachment to permanence, right? So strong attachment due to this strong permanence of attachment, strong attachment to permanence. Then, we will think that I'm not going to die today. I'm not going to die tomorrow, or the day up. The day after tomorrow. So this is due to the attaching to permanence. So the reason of drawing a person carrying a corpse on the back is because it is to show the changes of these contaminated appropriated aggregates. This contaminated appropriated aggregates, the changes of it, the process or the changes one has to go through. So it is not permanent, is not stable. So that it goes through changes. So in order for us to understand these contaminated appropriated aggregate go through changes, therefore a person who carry a corpse on the back is wrong here.
Kumbo in Juando Kalakawa. Namish Kumbo the Tangazum Juando Rua. Kumbo the Pa. And that cheats and isn't it? If contact Kumbo the Naso, Juando Watilla Kawa.
Juando,
Juando. That was a Kumbo the Yard, Lito Yard Jepada, Margino. St. Juando Rua. What that Kumbo in Juando Galamaso Gawa. That Kumbo the Renji Toyaka shows, Kumbo the Shani. That Kumbo Namiji Kumbo the Shani. Meditation one, and the Hilo, Namiji Kumbo the Shani. And right there, the kind of show she the word. The children did Namiji Kumbo the Shani, no. What that Gawa the show as a Tamil.
Yeah. So, yeah, aging and death. So aging refers to these aggregates go through changes. So when a person has developed, first born is baby, right? Then baby then start, then you become stronger, then you grown up, then all these are aging. So it's a process of going through changes, a process of these aggregates or this body going through changes. So that is aging. And the death part refers to leaving this body behind. So leaving this body behind refers to death.
Also, Gashi is a nigger, you can't cheat the cigarette, which is a yes, or Gashi, Yalan children, which is a yes, or guide in the sheet in it, Yalan children, which is a person. That Gashi did it, Jenina, nothing to think it, Tatsilla. You think it, Tatsilla, putting a minute, you just say yes, and you think it, Tatsilla. You know, Tabisala, Magia, Shua, Ganish. Any pouring images. No Magia, Shua, no gain, Chilua. Tenica pouring emirwa, or pouring emisons, then you think it, Tatsilla, pouring immediately, Jiji, Chida Toba. Yes. Gash telling Mazo, Gawa, Nidua, neither was a Yanakila Tandua. Johnny Bagash tells me, Tening a Chitandua. What dear? That you think it, Tatsilla, 우리 의미도 인종이 지제지리에서
미카시니디 가장 중중이나 데
가리가
시바로
마게 바신 이게 자체라 마게 바다 키로 그래서
음
네 게네 실와 와
yeah, so why the last link includes both aging and death and count as one link is because say what is well known to the world that there are many there are beings who didn't go through the process who didn't become old and then they die, so they died at the young age, so therefore this aging and death are counted as one.
다딜로데 다자 정하서 상담은 지신의 파지하고 그래. 나서 마기 반치와 예비 뭔가 나서 마기 반치와 요리에서 마기 반치와 요리에서데 나서 지팅이 자체라 게바서다 나서 작가보다 차도 니마 mambo 차도 다 미기 샹도 강가다 마 디간다 만냠도디 스포기 냠도디 만냠도디 게로스라 워와 게는 나서 지팅이 자체라다 지팅이 자체라 나서 마기 반치와 요리에서 다 작가보 차와다 니마 mambo다 스포 그 만냠다바 마차니라 치와 요리에서 간다 치와 요리에서 뭐와 예 마기 바시와 요리에서 그거 놓치기 나머지 신의 그래서 그 마신도 레스 나와 간다 마기 바시와 요리에서 와 어다 든지라 아무데 마기 바치와 요리 지도 통과해 지지 마기 바치와 요 치와 요 벗은 거 공부 단다서 가르치고서 마기 바치와서 이게 자체라 마기 바치와서 딜 단다 딜 시고 레스와 이게 자체라 게 바치다 가보 딱가보 네마 뭐 차도 다 수고마 그도와 와 만년 타고 차도 다 로마스로디 다 들은 지게 자치 좀 봤지 와 뭐들 다 마기 바든지 마기 바다 치와 요래서 그러면서 부추주 가와 딱가보 차고 네마 가보 네마 디고 말와 다디 담부디지 와 마기 바치와 요래서 들어본 거지
So the first reason why why aging and death are counted as one link is because what is well known to the world. So it's according to what is well known to the world, then they are being who die without getting old. So they didn't go through the process of having the white hair, gray hair, having their face full of wrinkles, hand bodies full of wrinkles, then their complexions lose the luster, and then their body become weak, then bent, hunchback, and etc. So before they experience these signs of aging, then they pass away. For example, they are babies, they die without getting old. So this is according to what is well known to the world. They are beings who died without getting old.
다 디지로와 다 들어도 디지신의 보다 그래서 저도 말해 다 마기 반치와 요 말했어 아야 다시 군은 이제 다시다 마기 반치와 메시지를 보시고와
마기 반치와 요래와 담보
이게 다시다 거리 의미를 주제지 기도 담바래서와 단 이제 다시는 와서 딱가 보면 마마한테 디지셔 신바 어때 마기 반치와 요래서와 다 마기 반치와 메시지를 다 간다 단 춘도알라 마기 반치와 짜리니 요 말해서 다 춘도알 마기 반치와 메시와 단 춘도디 게사르서 다 간다 치 가디 춘도나 게사르서 어때로야 그 교수 가르세 가이 땡데데 제시 두비 끼끼니바니 가이 땡데 두사래서 간다 간다 그래서 마이가도 많이 사자니 끼끼니반 손데 가이 땡데 두사래서 가르세 두발스나 다 마이가니 많이 사자니데 로자 되고 요가이나 끼끼니반서도 로자노 막 카차사래서 간다 세끼치 차노 차사라 막 로자노 막 세통도서 간다 다 세통도들이 막 게르게르로 간다 게게르로 다 마기 반치와 요 말레스 마기 반치와 미비 진실 가지나와 치 신체라 게니 치노래서 다 간다 게니 치노래서 다 게바드 컨디션 예수 그러나 다 치키스키킹 님바네 다 가이틴지 투사래서
치가 소연이 디원에 지나다 게차로
다 게차 원에 지나 디레 원에 지나 가서 치스키킹 님바서 데 간다 체투로 살 맞고 그 체린도 하게요 막 치다 키킹 님바서네 소소 그 체가지에는 또 투로 the second sequence to
yeah. So the first reason to count aging and death as one is because what is well known to the world that there is death without getting old. So therefore, there is no specific order. So some like baby, they can die without getting old. So this is the first reason that these two, aging and death, are counted as one. Then the second reason they are aging and death are counted as one is because there is no death without getting old. There is no death without getting old. So the first reason is there is death without getting old, right? Then the second reason is there is no death without getting old. So it seems contradict. However, it is one of the reasons why these two are counting as one is because when a person's consciousness first entered into the mixture of substance of parents, then that the second moment onwards, the aging has begun. Yeah, so the aging process has begun at the second moment onwards, once a person's consciousness entered into the mixture of substance of parents. So if a person is going to live for 100 years, then the second moment onwards, this person's life is getting shorter and shorter. So that is why, so at that point of time, so the second moment onwards, even though you are still in the wombs of the mother, the aging process has already started. Therefore, the second reason is because to group aging and death together is there is no death without getting old.
Kana Chicago Perua, Kana Chicago Kunanzini Tande, Montanani, the Kai Jupate, the teacher doa, that the children they can't show them Taman Sanger Yesegoro, was a Tambu teaching, show them Taman Sanger Yesegoro. That car, the Kana Chicago Tamunzini, Yedua. Chita Hindi Jabu, that then Chita was the teacher.
Yeah. So then you can see Rakshasas is drawn. The mouth is have the wheel of existence in his mouth, and its hands and legs holding the wheel of existence, and then hold it to the chest, hold it to its chest. So this Rakshas appearance represents or symbolizes the Lord of Death, and what it means is, what it symbolizes is death and impermanence.
That the Pilsha with Kanda, Messinda Kina, that and the symbol card to Titsadi, that's Ajin Yamki Madam Kaya, Kokayo Marisegura.
Subjin Yamki.
That's in this symbol comes Kano Chusayuna, Kano Chusayna, that Pogis, Madam Tag Marisegura. Sayan Yamki Dinaji. Chidaka Kan Titsana, that and the Tasayo Marisegura. That the Pilsha in Queen is a Leni want the Lady, they want to pay Chiwachi, that Leni, near the Yomuni, tell it, drama to Baina. What they want to pay, and Koaliani, the Dunga Yagi, and Kai Yomari, Nipa Yongre, that Dunga Nipa Yongre, Enashi, Roa. Leni want to kill a she did that Dunga Yogi, she just is that kind of Yongres, until a Tatachi with a Martin Yongres. That should have cut Siva Tibares Kanda. What should have cut Siva Tibare, Kano Switzerland, Kanatan Marisegura.
Yeah, so just like this, the Rakshasas having the wheel of existence in its mouth. So if anything in the mouth of the Rakshasas, then there's no way that you can. There's no way one can free from it, right? So the meaning is trying to say is, so due to karma and afflictions, and if one do not free from these karma and afflictions, then due to karma and afflictions, one take rebirth in the wheel of existence or in samsara, then one has no choice but to experience definitely the suffering.
That did you that you can't call it into a great Dawakabush to a Dawakabushua. That Dawakabush to a Dilmachi Shua. That Dawakabu then was a current service. Yeah, 상지지 공부하던 고된 순서와 상지지 공부하던 고된 까부 차오디 주마다 자와 다 주마다 자와 그 상지지 공부 주마다 자의 상지지 공부 와 까부디라 간다 주마나 비게 깡지네 지내가 간다 주마다 고된의 디시 좀 상지지 공부 고된 다도 좀 생활 왕 고된
Yeah, so you can see the moon. So on the top left, then you can see a moon, right? And this moon is white color, free of stain. So this stainless moon symbolizes the state of enlightenment, represents a state of enlightenment, or it represents the truth of cessation. So it also symbolizes that the possibility of achieving the state of enlightenment and liberation.
다지저 상지지 그 차라도스 바카도 누구 죽은도와 누구 줘야 돼 누구 줘야 돼 간다 가르스나 디디 송거래 다지당 가서 뭐니들 상지지 순이데 람데 청구에서 상지지 순이데 람데 청구에서 지키는 거와 다비 지난 것이 디스 만다와 다 차라도스 바주거데 다 간다 되자 나도 내로 지나다 지사마다 간다 와 랑라바소나 냐네 야부 지네 타비 공바디 토바치를 예스는 것도 두자 출라고야 랑라바스는 두바냐는 지네 그 상지지 공부토야 요리 예스 출라고야 간다 랑라바스는 냐는 지구를 예스 다 랑지 덴바 정 랑지 덴바 이시 랑라바스는 냐는 지구를 예스 랑라바스는 냐는 지네 상지지 공부 니다 토바치를 예스 아마도 두자 출라고야 다티 예스
Yeah, so then you can see the top right, a Buddha, pointing at it, right? I say pointing, because then yeah, so he's pointing at the white moon. So it symbolizes the truth of the path. So it symbolizes truth of the path. So Buddhas are pointing at the stainless moon, symbolizes it symbolizes exhorting the disciples to achieve the state of enlightenment. So if you practice to encourage or to exhort the disciples to practice the path, the path of three trainings, and if you practice it, then you will achieve the state of enlightenment. So this is what the Buddhas are pointing fingers at the moons symbolizes. So to exhort the disciples to practice and achieve the state of enlightenment.
that was a little new Shiwada Mandua, Yakanda, Lenini, Pony, the Sanji Kumpa Yoba, the Sanji who's a Dawaka Tem, Sanji Kumpa Tembadi, that they got a sunshine.
How the Buddhas exhort the disciples, and if you abandon karma and affliction, having abandoned karma and afflictions, one will achieve the state of enlightenment. So this is what the top left and top right symbolize. So with this, I'm going to stop here.
That is a
Yeah, so in fact, there are two verses down here. So however, I do not have time to explain it. So in the future, if we have the chance to explain this wheel of existence in detail, then at the time, then I will talk about it. Because if I were to explain in detail, it will requires a lot of time, and then it cannot finish in one class. And then one will there is a possibility that one cannot grab the essence out of it. So I only explain it in brief. Yeah, thank you. Stop here. So we conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through this Dhamma discussion. May it be a complete cause for the flourishing of Buddha Dharma and for the happiness of all sentient beings. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue for the world peace, and may happiness prevails the world. May the world be free of wars, conflicts, disaster. And also may this pandemic to be ceased immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue for those sentient beings who pass away, especially in this pandemic. May their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to sentient beings who are in suffering, and especially those who suffer in this pandemic. May they quickly be free from their sufferings. Sabeke wa de den dang zhuo wa kun la kan bei dang ke ba ji zun lu sang zha ba yi ten bei ni bo rin du se jie shuo sem zhuo rin bo jie ma ke pa nan ki kyu ji ke ba nya ba me ba yang ko ne ko du pe wa shuo jiang bei ba wei ji da kin ba dang kun du sang bo de yang de xin de da kun ge jie su da lo ji ki wa de da tam jie ra du ngo da wa rin bo jie ma ke pa nan ki kyu ji ke ba nya ba me ba yang ko ne ko du pe wa shuo ri mi da wa rinpoche ma ke pa na ki kyu chi ke pa nyama me ma yang ko ne kon do pe wa sho chan jin jam ke we ten si kyo be we kun su do bo ze chu su bu e le men zu jo ba ze zo du je kun do sha den sho mi yin je sun du ju be lang chi zi si si kan jin jin ju gen chan na pe mo ya zo la so wa de so xian juan le do sho de kan de pen de ma lu ba kan le jong wei san bei xin no ka ten su me ten jin ga so la so wa de so tu xian le do sho kan ri ra wei ko wei xin kan de pen dan de wa ma lu jong wei ne there is a one ten jin ga so ye sha be si de ba du de gyun ji.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you,